There's a moment, quiet, software, like the hush just before the sun rises. It's the moment you realize you've been living a life that wasn't truly yours, loving the way you were told to, settling for the love you thought you deserved. But then something breaks, or maybe something awakens. And for the first time, you ask yourself, what if I was reborn, just to choose the love that was always meant for me? Welcome to Desire Switch, my little space of soft truths and sacred awakenings. Here we speak gently, venture from the heart, because real transformation doesn't shout, it whispers. I used to believe love meant proving myself, making him see my worth, convincing someone to stay. That kind of love feels like constantly holding your breath, like walking on eggshells wrapped in lace. We fall into it so easily because it mirrors the way we were taught to please, to smile, to be chosen rather than choose. Do you remember your first heartbreak? Not the one that made you cry, but the one that made you feel like you were never enough? That's where it begins, the slow forgetting of our own desires. You can be in a relationship and still feel deeply alone. You can share a bed and feel oceans apart because being with someone isn't the same as being seen, being heard, being cherished. I stayed for years in a love that looked right. Everyone said we were perfect, but inside I was disappearing. I laughed less. I stopped dancing. I stopped dreaming. And the scariest part? I thought that was normal. Sometimes rebirth doesn't look like light. It looks like a loss, a betrayal, an unanswered text, a birthday forgotten, and suddenly something inside you says, no more. You don't even recognize your voice at first, but it's yours, your true self whispering through the cracks. And in that brokenness, you begin to wake up. Rebirth isn't loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or announcements. It comes with silence, soft mornings, a hand on your chest as you breathe through the ache. You start asking different questions, not why doesn't he love me, but do I even love myself here? You stop chasing, you start choosing. You no longer settle for someone who kind of likes you. You wait for the one who looks at you and sees galaxies. When you meet true love, your nervous system relaxes. You don't feel addicted. You feel safe. You don't wonder if they'll text back. You trust. It's not perfect, but it's peaceful. And the love feels like coming home, not like moving mountains to be worthy. This love doesn't shrink you. It expands you. You laugh more. You glow softer. You remember who you are. We grow up thinking love is something that happens to us, a magical force, a coincidence, fate. But the truth is, love is a choice. And more than that, choosing yourself is the beginning of finding someone who's truly for you. Because when you choose yourself deeply, you stop auditioning for love. You stop begging for crumbs. You start becoming the woman who walks away from almost love in order to meet her soulmate at the door. And there's a shift, a sacred feminine softening. You don't need to chase anymore. You attract. You don't demand to be seen. You radiate. This is the power of rebirth. It turns pain into clarity. It turns loneliness into discernment. You see now, not everyone deserves access to your heart. It's not cruel. It's holy. I once sat across from a man I used to chase. We met again, years later, over coffee. He smiled, confident I still felt the same. But something had changed. I didn't feel butterflies. I felt peace. I wasn't the girl trying to impress him anymore. I was the woman who knew he was part of my story, but not the ending. That day, I smiled softly and walked away. And I swear, it felt like closing a chapter with grace. We all carry an inner compass, but it gets buried under people-pleasing, under fear, under past wounds. True love begins when we clear the noise, when we return to that voice inside that whispers, "This isn't it. Keep going. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present." Because your heart already knows. It always knew. Some of us are just beginning this journey, feeling the ache, the longing, the hope. And in those quiet moments, it helps to have something that guides you deeper, something made for women like us who feel deeply, who love purely, and who are ready to be chosen by someone who sees us truly. If that's you, I left a soft doorway in the description only if your heart says yes. When you are reborn in love, you don't become someone new. You return to who you were before the world told you to be less. You remember your laughter. You reclaim your sensuality. You no longer wait to be chosen. You choose. That is the power of a woman who remembers her worth. So here you are, not broken, not late, just awakening, reborn not to settle, but to choose your true love. And in that choice, everything changes. If this touched something inside you, subscribe for more soul-deep reflections, or take a quiet moment to explore the description below. I'll be here, always speaking gently to the part of you that remembers you're worthy of a love that feels like peace. Thank you, friends.